This episode is sponsored by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro for free at RamseySolutions.com/invest. You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk investing, retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity.
Emma is in Albany, New York. Hi, Emma. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I'll start with a little bit of background. I am 26 years old. I have no debt. I have an emergency fund, and I just started saving up for a down payment on a house.
Good for
So
you.
in doing this, thank you. In doing this, I'm looking at how much my paycheck is going where, and the one thing I keep coming back to is how much is enough to retire on. Now, I know you guys have that general 15% guideline, but since I graduated and started working, I've been contributing between 20 and 25% to my retirement. So it's pretty front-loaded, and now I worry a little bit about having too much of my net worth tied up in funds I won't be able to access for another 30-plus years. So that leads me to kind of a two-part question. First, how much is too much to have in your retirement? And how do I plan for something so far in the future, considering we don't know what inflation or cost of living is going to look like by then?
Great questions. And it sounds like you're way ahead of the curve. How much do you have in retirement currently?
Currently about $100,000.
Amazing. And it sounds like you want to retire early, by the way you're talking. You're saying, hey, I can't wait 30 years to access these funds. Are you saying, hey, if I want to stop working or have the option to work at 50, what do I do?
Yeah, if it's possible, sure.
Okay.
It will be possible in your case. What do you make a year?
About $95,000 a year.
Good for you. Well, you're doing really good. I would put you in the top 95 percentile of somebody your age. You are kicking it. So this is more of a theoretical discussion than it is an actual discussion because you've really got it dialed in. Let's just say that Emma has her act together, okay?
Thanks.
All right. Now, if you want to do what we would call some bridge investing, you'll be able to do that beginning in your late 30s and still be in great shape. So you got 10 years before you have to worry about that, okay? And the only way you'd want to worry about that is, like you said, you've got a lot going into retirement. You're going to be putting 15% of your income into retirement. It's only $15,000 a year right now. And you're going to put the balance of what you can find on the house and get the house paid off after you make the purchase on the house, all of that kind of stuff. And, yeah, in your 40s, you should have over $1 million. And so if you want to, at that point, go, I'm going to start side loading some money over here. Some of the money I'm going to save. Once my house is paid off, I mean, you could continue to put 15% in retirement and have another 10% going into non-retirement investing, just into, just an S&P 500 would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to. I mean, that's what I did. I maxed everything out, and then I just threw money to the side and had, more than enough wealth long before I got into my 50s.
So here's what that equates to, Emma. You can go down to 15% investing. Keep saving for the house. That's going to help you save up for the house faster, get it paid off. Then you can increase your investing. I just crunched the numbers here for her, Dave. She's going to have $7 million at her current rate. If she just invests 15% and you get a 10% return, she's going to have... Is
that including the 100 that's already in there?
That includes the 100. You'll have $7 million by 60. You'll hit $1 million you were spot on, Dave, by 40 years old.
Yeah.
She'll have $1 million sitting in that account.
I thought she'd be about there. That sounds right. And so what that means is that when you get that first $1 million in retirement, if you're in your late 30s, early 40s, then just stop or slow down and then just chunk everything else. But when the house is paid for, you can go on up to 30%, 35% investing if you want to. You'll have plenty of money because you'll have a house payment.
Right.
And your income's going to go up through time. As far as predicting what returns are 40 or 50 years in the future, no one obviously can do that, or what inflation's going to do 40 or 50 years out. No one can do that. When I was your age, it was 40 years ago, and I started talking about doing this stuff, and now I got a bunch of money in mutual funds. That's the equation. It's not some nerded out 10th of a point to 0.2 of a point to I got to figure out the 12B1 fees, or I got to just invest in good mutual funds that have a long track record. They're going to keep you ahead of inflation, especially inside of a retirement account, because the companies that cause inflation are the companies that you're buying stock in. By definition, that's a hedge. Okay, so if you're buying stock in computers, the value of the cost of computers goes up. That's inflation. If you're buying a stock in oil and gas, in your mutual fund, and the cost of gasoline goes up, which it has over 40 years, then guess what? It's built into the profitability of your company you're buying into. So, ultimately, the stock market in itself is basically an inflation hedge. The way you hedge against inflation is you buy items that are inflating. Houses and companies that are charging inflated prices due to inflation. That's the name, and that's what you're doing. So that the way you're going to build wealth, you don't have to spend a lot of time fretting over the economy or inflation or something else. The economy goes down, woohoo! We're buying stock cheap. The economy goes up, woohoo! The value of my stock all went up.
Yeah. And based on the way Emma's talking, I think she needs to have some balance, live her life. You don't need to funnel every single dollar into investing.
Right.
I want you to enjoy some of it too. And right now, you're very much on track to have plenty of money. So I'm not that worried about it.
Done a great job.
Crushing it. Thanks for tuning in to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. To learn more about how to plan for retirement, visit RamseySolutions.com/retire or click the link in the show notes. Ramsey Solutions is a paid non-client promoter of participating pros. Learn more at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.